My family disowned me after my brother falsely accused me of stealing from them as a teen. Now they're demanding I let him move in with me and my wife because his marriage imploded and he has nowhere else to go. I'm a 35-year-old guy, and I never imagined I'd be sharing this messed up story with the world, but here we are. Growing up, my family seemed like a tight-knit unit, at least, that's the image we projected. My parents, my older brother, who's 38 now, and I lived in a small suburban house. From the outside, we looked like your average family. But behind closed doors? It was a total disaster. My brother, who I'll call Mike, was the golden child. Star athlete, great grades, the whole package. Me? I was the quiet kid, more into books and video games than sports or popularity. My parents never missed a chance to compare us, always with that classic line, "Why can't you be more like Mike?" You know, the kind of crap that sticks with you. Things took a dark turn when I was 17. Mike had just graduated college and was back home for the summer, strutting around like he owned the place. One day, $500 goes missing from my parents' safe, money they'd been saving for a vacation. Not exactly a grand mystery, right? But then Mike starts pointing fingers at me. He tells my parents he saw me sneaking around the house late at night, even hints that I might be into drugs or something. For the record, I wasn't. I was just up late reading. I denied everything, of course, but my parents bought his story without a second thought. They confronted me in the living room, screaming about how disappointed they were, calling me the problem child. My dad laid into me with, "We've given you everything, and this is how you repay us? Get out." I tried to explain. I begged them to check the security camera in the hallway, but they wouldn't hear it. Mike just stood there, smirking like he'd won some twisted game. I found out much later that he took the money for a party or whatever, but back then, no one cared about my side of the story. They kicked me out that very night. I crashed on a friend's couch for a week, then got a job at a warehouse and rented a crummy apartment. I cut contact completely, no calls, no holidays, nothing. It hurt like hell, but I figured if they didn't want me, screw them. Fast forward 18 years. I've built a pretty good life for myself. I met my wife, Sarah, who's 33, in college. She's incredible, supportive, kind, the whole package. We got married 5 years ago, bought a house in a quiet neighborhood, and we're even talking about starting a family soon. I work in IT now, a stable job with no drama. Mike, on the other hand? From what I've heard through mutual acquaintances, his life's gone off the rails. He married his college sweetheart, had 2 kids, but apparently, he's been cheating on her for years. She found out, divorced him, and now he's got partial custody but no place to live since she kept the house. He's bouncing between friends' couches. Sound familiar? So, last week, out of nowhere, I get a call from my mom. First contact in nearly 2 decades. She's crying on the phone, saying how much she misses me, how they've been thinking about me a lot lately. I'm stunned, obviously. I ask what's going on, and she drops the bombshell. Mike's in a bad spot, his ex-wife is being unreasonable, and they think it'd be great if he could stay with me for a while. Just until he gets back on his feet. "You're brothers," she says. "Family helps family." I actually laughed out loud and told her hell no. Why would I let the guy who ruined my life crash at my place? She starts guilt-tripping me. "We were wrong back then, but you've done well for yourself. Mike needs you." I hung up. But it didn't end there. The next day, my dad texts me, "Son, we've made mistakes, but Mike's kids need stability. Your house has space." Space? Sure, we have a guest room, but that's not the point. Then Mike himself messages me on Facebook. I didn't even know we were connected. "Hey bro, long time. Mom told me you're pissed, but let's bury the hatchet. I could use a place to crash with the kids on my weekends." The sheer audacity. I blocked him immediately. Sarah thinks I should at least hear them out, maybe get some closure, but I'm torn. Part of me wants to tell them all to screw off, but another part wonders if this is their way of apologizing. Or is it just more manipulation? Am I wrong for not wanting to help the brother who got me disowned? I don't know. This has dug up a lot of old anger I thought I'd buried. Update 1. Alright, it's been about a week since I first shared this, and things have escalated in ways I didn't expect. Thanks for all the comments, they've helped me realize I'm not crazy for feeling this way. A lot of you suggested sticking to no contact, and I tried, but my family clearly didn't get the message. 2 days after my original post, my parents showed up at my house unannounced. Sarah and I were in the middle of dinner when the doorbell rang. I looked out the window and saw their old SUV in the driveway. My heart sank. Sarah asked if I wanted her to handle it, but I said no, I've got this. I opened the door, and there they were, Mom with teary eyes, Dad with that stern look like he's about to lecture me. "Hi, son," Mom started, trying to hug me. I stepped back. "We drove all this way to talk. Can we come in?" I hesitated, but Sarah nodded from behind me, so I let them in. We sat in the living room, the tension thick enough to cut with a knife. Dad jumped right in. "Look, we know what happened back then was a misunderstanding. Mike told us everything years ago." "Wait, what? Everything as in he admitted to stealing the money?" Mom nodded. "Yes, he confessed a couple of years after you left. Said he was young and stupid, needed cash for a girl or something. We forgave him. We tried to find you, but you changed your number." My blood started boiling. "You forgave him? Just like that? And you tried to find me? I was 17, living in the same damn town for months after. You didn't try anything." Dad got defensive. "We were hurt too, you know. You never reached out either." "Oh, hell no." I reminded them they kicked me out based on lies, and they just sat there, Mom dabbing at her eyes. Then she said, "But that's the past. Mike's going through a divorce now. His wife, ex-wife, is making it hard for him to see the kids. He needs a stable place, and you have this nice house. It could be good for all of us to reconnect." Sarah chimed in, polite but firm, "With all due respect, that's not how this works. Your son built this life without you. Why should we disrupt it for someone who hurt him?" Mom turned to her. "You're family now too, dear. Don't you believe in second chances?" I cut in. "Mike doesn't get a second chance from me. He framed me, you believed him, and now you want me to house him? No." They argued for another 20 minutes, Dad spouting lines like, "Blood is thicker than water," and Mom pleading about how Mike's kids, my nieces I suppose, are innocent in this. I finally told them to leave. As they were going, Dad muttered, "You're being selfish. We raised you better." "Raised me?" They threw me away. After they left, Sarah and I talked. She admitted she didn't expect them to confess Mike's admission so casually, like it was nothing. "It changes things a bit. Now I know they knew the truth and still didn't reach out. But it also makes me angrier." "Why now? Just because Mike's in trouble?" I unblocked Mike to send one message. "Parents told me you confessed. Why'd you do it?" He replied almost instantly, "I was a dumb kid, bro. Sorry. But hey, can we talk about me staying there? Kids miss having a home." I didn't respond. This whole thing has me questioning everything. Was their misunderstanding really just them picking favorites? And now they're acting like I owe them. There's no way I'm letting him move in, but guilt is creeping in. What if the kids really are suffering? Am I punishing them for Mike's sins? Update 2. Holy crap, you guys weren't kidding when you said families like this don't back off. It's been 4 days since the last update, and things have gone from bad to absolutely insane. I appreciate all the advice. Some of you suggested going fully no contact, even getting a restraining order if it escalates. Well, guess what? It escalated. First, Mike started blowing up my phone. Texts, calls, voicemails. "Come on, man, we're brothers." I said sorry. "My ex is crazy, she's telling the kids lies about me. I need a place where I can have them over without her drama." I ignored most of it, but one voicemail hit hard. He's crying, saying, "Mom and Dad are getting old, this stress is killing them. If you don't help, it's on you." What a manipulative jerk. Then, yesterday, Sarah came home from work early, looking pissed. She said, "Your mom called my office." What? Turns out Mom looked up Sarah's job, she's a teacher, and called the school, pretending to be a concerned relative. The receptionist patched her through, and Mom started begging Sarah to talk sense into me. Sarah hung up, but now she's furious, saying it's invasive and could affect her professionally. I apologized, but she said, "It's not your fault, but this has to stop." I decided to call my parents and lay down the law. Dad answered. I told him, "You need to back off. No more showing up, no calling Sarah's work. And tell Mike to stop harassing me." Dad sighed, "We're just trying to keep the family together. Mike's ex is poisoning the kids against him. She found texts from other women, but it's not what it looks like." "Not what it looks like?" "He cheated, Dad. That's why his marriage imploded." Dad paused, then said, "People make mistakes. Like he did with you. But you turned out fine. Why can't you forgive?" I lost it a little. Forgive? You all knew he lied about the money and did nothing. Now you want me to fix his mess? Screw that. Mom got on the line. Language, young man. We did try to make it right. Remember Aunt Linda's funeral 5 years ago? We asked about you. Aunt Linda? I vaguely remember hearing she passed, but no one invited me. You didn't ask anything, I said. They insisted they did, through some cousin, but I call BS, imperfect memory or not, I'd remember that. The call ended with them saying they'd give me space, but I doubt it. Sarah and I are talking about changing our numbers, maybe even moving if it gets worse. But here's the new info that's messing with my head. While digging through old emails, I found one from Mike, sent about a year after I left. It was buried in spam, but it's there. Hey, sorry about the money thing. Parents are pissed at me now. Can I crash with you? He confessed to them back then? And asked to stay with me? Why didn't they tell me? Did they know about this email? My understanding of the timeline is shifting. Maybe they did reach out indirectly, through him? It feels like more lies. Or am I overthinking this? This whole thing is draining us. Sarah's supportive, but I can see it's stressing her out. If they keep pushing, I might have to involve the cops. Never thought it'd come to that with my own family. Update 3. Alright, buckle up, because this update is a wild one. It's been 3 days since the last one, and I feel like I'm stuck in some twisted family drama movie. Your comments have been a lifeline, some of you shared similar stories, and it helps knowing I'm not alone in this mess. But new stuff has come to light, and it's changing how I see everything, not in a good way. First off, Mike showed up at my house yesterday. Alone, thankfully, no kids with him. I was working from home, Sarah was out, when I heard banging on the door. I looked through the peephole, it's him, looking rough, like he hasn't slept in days. Unkempt beard, red eyes. I didn't open it at first, just yelled through the door, "What the hell do you want, Mike?" "I told you no," he shouted back, "Open up, we need to talk like men. Mom and Dad said you're being a prick about this." Against my better judgment, I opened the door a crack, chain still on. "Say what you gotta say and leave." He launched into a sob story, "My life's falling apart, bro. Ex took everything, house, most custody. She's saying I'm unfit because of the affairs. But those were just flings, nothing serious. I need a place to rebuild, show the court I have stability. Your house is perfect, guest room for the kids, nice area." I cut him off, "Why my house? Get your own place." He smirked a little, "Come on, you owe me. Remember high school? I covered for you all the time." "Covered for me? What the hell are you talking about?" That's when he dropped the bomb. The money wasn't the first time. "Remember Dad's whiskey bottle that went missing? Or the dent in Mom's car? I took the blame for you, said it was me. That's why they believed me so quick about the cash. I had a history of screwing up for you." My mind reeled. I do remember those incidents vaguely. I was a dumb teen, yeah, I drank some of Dad's booze once and hid it. And the car? I borrowed it without asking, scraped it on a curb. But I thought no one knew. "You took the blame?" He nodded, "Yeah, to protect you. But then when I needed money, I figured you'd understand if I borrowed some and pinned it. Didn't think they'd kick you out." I'm floored. Is this true? It sounds like nonsense, but it fits, why they always saw him as the troublemaker deep down, but still favored him. Or did they? My memory's fuzzy, maybe I blocked it out. If that's true, why not tell me back then? Why let them throw me out? He shrugged, "I was scared. Then when I confessed later, they said to let you cool off. We all thought you'd come back." I slammed the door, told him to get lost. But now I'm doubting everything. Sarah got home, I told her, and she's skeptical. "Sounds like he's rewriting history to guilt you. Don't fall for it." We argued a bit, she thinks it's all manipulation, but I can't shake it. What if he did cover for me? Does that change anything? No, screw that, he still framed me. Then, tonight, things went nuclear. My parents called again, conference style with Mike on the line. Mom said, "We heard about your talk. Mike told us you two cleared the air." "Cleared the air?" I said. "He lied, like always." Dad jumped in, "No, son, he's right. We knew about those other times. Mike protected you, and you repaid him by vanishing. Now help him, or we'll have to tell Sarah the truth about your past." "Tell Sarah? What truth?" "Mom, that you were the real troublemaker. The drinking, the car, we covered it up for years." I'm shaking. Sarah's listening on speaker, her face pale. "Is this true?" She asked me after we hung up. I admitted yeah, the incidents happened, but I didn't know Mike covered for me. She looked hurt. "Why didn't you tell me? And now they're threatening too." "What, smear you?" "This is new, I never thought my past screw-ups would come back like this." "But is it a threat? Or are they just desperate?" "Worse, Mike texted me a photo. It's an old family picture, me as a teen, looking guilty as hell next to the dented car. Caption, proof. Let me stay, or everyone sees the real you. Everyone? Like who? Sarah's family? My work? This feels like blackmail. My understandings flipped, maybe I wasn't the total victim I thought. But blackmail? That's low, even for them. Sarah wants to call the police now, say it's harassment. I'm torn, part of me wants to confront them all together, get the full story. What else are they hiding? I think I'm gonna set up a meeting, but if it goes south, I don't know. This cliffhanger of a life is killing me. More soon, I guess. Update 4. Jesus Christ, I don't even know where to start with this one. It's been 2 days since that blackmail text from Mike, and I've barely slept. Your messages have been pouring in, some saying to lawyer up, others warning me it's all gaslighting. Sarah's been my rock, but she's pushing hard for no more contact, period. They're toxic, she keeps saying. This isn't family, it's a cult of favoritism. But I couldn't let it go. I needed answers, so I stupidly agreed to a meeting. I set it up at a neutral spot, a coffee shop downtown, public so they couldn't pull anything. Told them to come alone, no Mike, but of course, they didn't listen. I got there early, Sarah with me for backup. We're sipping coffee when Mom and Dad walk in. With Mike trailing behind like a lost puppy. He looks even worse up close, bags under his eyes, clothes rumpled. Mom hugged me before I could stop her, whispering, "Thank you for this, honey. We're going to fix everything." Dad shook my hand stiffly, and Mike just nodded, muttering, "Thanks, bro." We sat, and I laid it out, no BS. Tell me the full truth about back then, or I'm walking. Sarah added, and explained the threats. That's not how you rebuild bridges. Mom started crying almost immediately. It was all so complicated, she said. Mike did cover for you those times, the whiskey, the car. But we knew it was you. We told him to take the blame because we didn't want to deal with another fight. You were always so sensitive, withdrawing into your books. Mike was stronger, he could handle our anger. What? Sarah's jaw dropped, and I felt like I'd been punched. So you orchestrated it? Made him the scapegoat to protect me? Dad nodded reluctantly, sort of. But then when the money went missing, Mike panicked and flipped it on you. We believed him because, well, we thought maybe you finally snapped. But deep down, we knew it didn't add up. Mike jumped in, voice cracking, I didn't want to be the bad guy anymore. All those years, taking hits for you, groundings, lectures. I resented it, so yeah, I took the cash for a gambling debt I had, not some girl. Pinned it on you to even the score. Gambling debt? That's new. You had a problem even back then? He admitted it, started in college. Lost a bunch on sports bets. Parents bailed me out a few times after you left, but they made me confess about the money to clear the air. Said if I came clean, maybe you'd forgive us all. Mom chimed in, we did try to reach you. Through that email Mike sent. And at Aunt Linda's funeral, we asked Cousin Dave to invite you, but he said you hung up on him. My head's spinning. I remember Cousin Dave calling around that time. Yeah, I did hang up, thinking it was a prank or something. But gambling? And them knowing Mike was the real screw-up all along, yet still favoring him? Sarah's fuming. So you played favorites, engineered lies to protect one son while sacrificing the other, and now you're here because Mike's addiction wrecked his marriage? That's why the divorce, not just cheating? Mike looked down. Yeah, the affairs were part of it, but the gambling drained our savings. Ex found out, kicked me out. I need your place to look stable for the custody hearing next month. I stood up, done. This changes nothing. You all manipulated me, each other. Mike, you're not moving in. Fix your own mess. As we're leaving, Dad grabbed my arm. Wait, son. There's more. Your mom. She's been sick. Cancer scare last year. This stress is making it worse. Mom nodded tearfully. Please, for me. Sarah pulled me away. Don't you dare use that now. We left them there, but damn, that cancer bit hit hard. Is it real? Or another lie? My whole view of our family is shattered. I thought I was the black sheep, but turns out it was all a web of secrets to keep up appearances. Mike wasn't the golden child, he was the designated fall guy until he wasn't. And me? Just collateral. Sarah says we're blocking everyone, but that health scare. It's gnawing at me. What if it's true? Update 5. Final update here, folks, or at least, I hope it is. It's been a week since the coffee shop disaster, and I've had time to process. Thanks for sticking with me through this roller coaster, your support helped me stay sane. Sarah and I talked nonstop, and we decided on full no contact. Changed our numbers, blocked all socials, even notified the neighbors to watch for unfamiliar cars. But before going dark, I needed one last confirmation. I hired a PI, yeah, it cost a bit, but peace of mind, right? Told him to dig into the family claims, especially mom's cancer scare. The report came back yesterday, and holy crap, it flipped everything again. Turns out mom did have a health issue last year, benign tumor, not cancer, but she milked it for sympathy in family circles. No real scare, just exaggeration. The gambling? Real as hell. Mike's deeper in debt than he let on, owes thousands to some shady lenders, which is why he's desperate for a free place to hide out. The PI even found court docs from the divorce. His ex cited not just cheating and gambling, but Mike's history of lying, including stuff from our childhood. She knew about the money theft and how he framed me. Apparently, he bragged about it to her once during an argument, like it was a funny story. But the real bombshell? My parents have been enabling Mike's habits for years. The PI uncovered bank transfers, small amounts over time, totaling over $20,000, funneled to Mike under the table. They weren't just bailing him out, they were hiding it from me, probably because they felt guilty about the past. And get this, that email Mike sent me way back? Parents dictated it to him, hoping I'd let him crash then, too. It was never about reconciliation, it was always about using me as a safety net for their favorite. Sarah read the report with me, and we both just sat there, stunned. They've been playing us all along, she said. Your sensitive nature was their excuse to prop up Mike. It hurts admitting it, but yeah, my understanding's completely changed. I wasn't disowned because of one lie, it was a pattern of them prioritizing Mike, rewriting history to suit their narrative. Even those covers for my teen mistakes? The PI thinks they were exaggerated. Records show Mike was the one who dented the car, traffic ticket in his name, and the whiskey was probably him too. He projected his crap onto me to balance the scales in his twisted mind. We confronted them one last time via email, laid out everything the PI found, told them we're done. No response yet, but Mike texted from a new number, before we changed ours, you hired a PI? That's low, bro. Family doesn't do that. I replied, family doesn't blackmail or lie for decades. Goodbye. Blocked. Life's quieter now. Sarah and I are focusing on us, therapy's helping me unpack this baggage, and we're back to talking about kids without the shadow. Part of me wonders if they'll show up again, but if they do, cops it is. No neat bow here, it still stings knowing my family was this dysfunctional. But hey, I built my own, and that's enough. Thanks, everyone. Over and out. Hi there, if you made it so far. Consider dropping a like and maybe subscribing. Thanks. And have a nice one.